Okay, howdy everybody, this is Ryan Acid Heads Murphy coming to you with another video about New Japan Pro Wrestling NJPW and the G1 Climax Tournament, which finished up a few days ago. And this is going to be my review of the tournament, thoughts about it, and I'm just going to kind of have pictures. I don't know, is there a slideshow function on here or anything? That would be nice. Doesn't look like it, so let's just... Here's a shot of Tanahashi after he won the tournament. If you haven't watched it yet, sorry, spoiler alert, too late. But, I mean, it's been a few days, come on. You should know who won if you're interested in this stuff at all. So, overall, the tournament had some absolutely excellent matches. The Tanahashi-Okada match was just awesome. Tanahashi against Ibushi, awesome. Those two matches, I mean, they actually sucked me in, which doesn't happen too often. I mean, they really got me for those two matches. I mean, they were just excellent. Ishii versus Omega was excellent. So, I mean, there were lots of really good matches through the tournament, but there were some issues. And I don't like to dwell on negatives too much, but I've got to address the Tongans. Now, this is a bit of a personal bias on my part, but I'm tired of the same old NWO ripoff BS from the Bullet Club. You know, I didn't like it when I first started watching in 2015. Then Omega kind of started phasing out, and the rest of the Bullet Club kind of started phasing out the interference and cheating and other nonsense, and became more of just a stable. Then Cody comes in, and there's all this back and forth crap between Omega and Cody. And then get to San Francisco, seems like that's going to finally be resolved, but the Tongans attack them and split off. Well, they didn't split off. They're claiming that they're the actual Bullet Club, and then the others are claiming that they're the Bullet Club, so whatever. I mean, they're doing NWO Wolfpack again, and it's like, come on. Any of us who are around for the 90s boom of pro wrestling, the late 90s, you know, with WCW going up against WWF, we know what the hell this is. It's not new. And plus, I am just so I'm so tick. I don't know what that means. Sick. I'm sick of cheap, tired, old heel shit. Because it makes no sense to me. It never has. There's a good shot of Ibushi kneeing Omega in the face. But, why? Okay. Ostensibly, the core conceit, if you will, in the fictional sense of a conceit that has to do with fiction. Let me just look that up right quick. A fanciful expression, writing, or speech, an elaborate metaphor. Okay, so maybe not the exact correct word to use. Well, it still fits. I mean, the idea behind pro wrestling is that it's supposed to be it's based on a sport. It is fiction, but it's a meeting of theater and sports. That's what it is, kind of, sort of, more or less. And you have that core thing. It's supposed to be a sport, fictionalized or not. It is still supposed to retain that core element. And ever since they started recording pro wrestling matches, it has never made sense to me that they let people get away with cheating. I know they're trying to get heat from the audience, they're trying to make you boo them, but at the same time, all the legit sports, and I use bunny ears when I say legit because that's entirely in the eye of the beholder. They're all obsessed with cheating. If anybody even gets a little whiff that somebody might be cheating, it can wreck their entire career, even if it's proved that they didn't do anything. Or like the Olympics, it doesn't even have to be cheating. If they just do anything that reflects badly on the Olympics, the committee decides they can take away people's medals. All the sports, they're obsessed with it. Nobody gets away with cheating. But for some reason in pro wrestling, it can be recorded, but it has this unwritten rule that if it doesn't happen in front of a referee, it doesn't actually happen. It makes no goddamn sense. It hasn't since they started recording matches. I said that, but it's still, it never really has made any sense. And in the G1, because the Tongans, if you haven't watched any of it yet, the Tongans, every single match, Fale's in the one block, Tama Tonga's in the other, Fale A, Tama Tonga B blocks, respectively. Every single match, interference, and they lost most of their matches because of being disqualified. Since I watched my first G1 in 2015, that's when I started watching New Japan and started watching pro wrestling again after kind of stopping watching it in around 2003-ish. So I didn't watch wrestling for like 12 years or so, other than occasional indie shows. So from 2015 G1 tournament up until this one, I think I've seen 2 disqualifications. This tournament had, I think, about 8 or 9. Or no, it may have been more than that. Like 4 or 5 times as many disqualifications as I've ever seen in New Japan. Now, I don't watch every show. I don't watch every tournament. There may have been more. I just didn't see them. But still. And again, they didn't do anything about it until the last night. Basically, on like the very last show, they said, well, if the Tongans try and interfere again, they're going to be kicked out. And that's what happened. But they didn't do anything until the last night. And again, yes, I know, it's a show. They're heels. They're supposed to be doing stuff to get booed. But can't they come up with anything better? Cody doesn't have to cheat all the time to get booed. He does it purely on his personality. Jay White cheats, but he doesn't use interference. He cheats himself, and he's sneaky, and he's a little asshole. That's okay, okay? I'm not saying that all cheating should be eliminated. I understand that it is a tool you use to tell a story. I do understand that. But it's just the interference type of cheating. Or when they're not doing it with anything else. All they're doing is cheating. Like, that's why I can't stand Tai Chi. It's the exact same crap every single match with him. And the same thing with the Tongans. Maybe it's not even the cheating that pisses me off. It's the repetition and lack of any unpredictability. Because Jay White is already getting a bit stale to me. But he mixes things up. He does a little bit of variety. But the Tongans, it was the same thing every match. You knew as soon as they were coming out what they were going to do. There was no variation to it. So why bother watching? You know what they're going to do. What's the point? That's what I'm saying about Tai Chi. Every time he comes out, it's the exact same damn thing. Or that Izuka, or Lizuka, whatever his name is. Same thing every match. That's why I can't stand most of Suzuki-gun. It's the same thing every time they come out. There's no point in watching. Like, all I'm saying is, mix it up. Be a little bit more subtle. Have some nuances. That's why Ric Flair was so good. He had 1,000,001 little things that he would do when he was working heel to rile up the audience. Okay, that's what I'm saying, is have some style, have some nuance, have some subtleness, some subtlety to what you're doing. Don't just keep using the same tired old shit. And like the NWO crap, Bullet Club just ripping off the NWO, now it's the Tongans ripping off the NWO. It's just, do something different, come on. Please. I love the tournament other than that. because I was convinced Okada was going to win. And then he loses 2 matches in a row, and I'm like, holy shit, is Gato actually booked this thing so that Okada's not going to win at all? I would have loved that. That would have been hilarious. But then he starts winning, and like, okay, he's going to win. Then you get to the match with Tanahashi, and it sucked me in so well. And I didn't know who was going to win. And then Tanahashi wins, and it's like, holy shit. That's one of the things I love about New Japan. I can't always predict what they're going to do. A lot of the time, I can't predict what they're going to do. And maybe for other people, being predictable and the same old shit every match isn't a big deal. But for me, predictability is a killer. If I know what's going to happen as soon as the wrestlers are coming out, I don't feel a need to watch it. You know, it's like I don't have a problem with formulas. You know, some people bitch about things like the Marvel movies or some like procedural TV shows. I enjoy that stuff because I don't care about the formula. I want to see how it unfolds. The journey is what matters. For me, it matters just as much as the finish, the ending. Sometimes it matters more than the ending, unless the ending is really shit. Because yes, a terrible finish to either a wrestling match or a terrible ending on a movie or TV episode or something can ruin it. Definitely. But for me, the journey is important. That I don't care about spoilers because it doesn't mean anything to me. Because how they get to that point matters to me just as much. But with again, Tai Chi and what the Tongans are doing, the journey's always the same. The finish is always the same. The journey's always the same. The match, everything about it is always the same. It's not like a CSI. A TV show off the top of my head. Yes, they use a formula, and they're going to solve the crime by the end of the episode, most likely. But I don't know what's going to happen in that 45 minutes or whatever, the journey that it takes to get from what starts to how it finishes. I don't know what's going to happen there exactly. I want to know the journey. But even if there are slight variations between the wrestlers in these matches I'm talking about, it still ends up being the exact same thing. As soon as, let's say it's Tama Tonga in the ring, as soon as he gets in any kind of little bitty, itty bitty, teeny bitty bit of trouble, Tonga Loa is going to be interfering. Even if he's not in trouble, Loa is going to be interfering. He gets in real trouble, Fale's out. Or, if it's Fale, Tama Tonga's going to be coming out. Same damn thing every match. No variation. Nothing. No point to watch. So, yeah, that part of the tournament irritated me. And I saw an article before I started this that the new CEO guy for New Japan has promised that he's not going to pull a Vince McMahon. He had no plans to get involved. It just kind of, I guess what he's trying to say is that with what they're doing with the Bullet Club, it just kind of happened. And he doesn't plan on being a on-screen persona. And I really hope that's true because I said a long time ago that if New Japan wanted to break the American market, truly break it, then they would need to start incorporating more soap opera elements like WWE uses. But when I said that, I meant add it in as a complementary aspect to the matches. Because that's what brought you to the party in the first place. The great matches. And they did give that to us. There was hardly, other than the Tongans, there were hardly any bad matches in the tournament. Everybody pretty much had a story that was being told. There were a lot of really excellent matches. Some of them weren't as exciting as some of the others, but for the most part, they were good. And some of them were just downright amazing. Excellent, whatever adjective you want to use. But, whatever they're going to do with Bullet Club and Suzuki Gun as well moving forward, because it's starting to look like Suzuki Gun's going to feud with Lij, which is interesting, and that's fine. Again, I don't have a problem with them bringing in some of that American soap opera element to the wrestling, but don't do it at the expense of the matches, because that is what people started tuning in for to begin with. You know, if you start screwing around, having constant interference, you start having crappy matches with DQ finishes constantly, that is kind of devolving, it's backtracking, it's going backwards. You know, you can have both. I mean, I don't understand this mentality where people think you can't have both. And honestly, if Tama Tonga and Fale and Tongaloa can't cut at his heels based on their personalities, and if they can't do things in a more acceptable way that fits with New Japan and the style of New Japan, instead of just doing the same old cheap, tired ass interference, NWO style heel shit. And I know it wasn't NWO that invented interfering, but they're kind of the first ones in mainstream, other than perhaps the Four Horsemen. But then I don't think the Four Horsemen used a lot of interference in their matches. For me, at least, it was the NWO. You knew what was going to happen every match. They would come out, there would usually be at least two of them, sometimes three or four of them would come out. There would be interference, and then they would either win by cheating, or they would get disqualified, and then regardless, they would beat the crap out of whoever they were up against. And they destroyed the WCW locker room, you know, the WCW side of the roster. They made them all look like jokes. Which is why they had to rush Goldberg out, who they never trained properly. It's why they had to do the thing with the Wolfpack, because they had fucked over the WCW audience or roster to the point that there were no credible challenges for the NWO anymore. All they could do was split them up and have them fight each other. And it was still the same old predictable crap every match. So, you know, that's really kind of my thoughts about the tournament. I mean, for the most part, it was excellent. It was just as good as any other year. And Tanahashi's last couple of matches were downright amazing in some ways. I mean, they were that damn good. Ibushi and Omega's match was awesome. That's an old picture. That's an old picture. That's a newer picture. That's a Jay White suplexing Evil. Because Jay White, for some reason, has a hard-on for trying to knock the English commentary team off the air. He gets heat for it, and it does work, and he's not actually breaking any rules when he does it. That's a way to get heat without making the matches suck. So, yeah, for the most part, it was good. The Tongans were a pain in the ass. I got really sick of their shit first night, basically. I knew exactly what they were going to do. I was tired of it first night. And, you know, and another reason it makes no sense is because if you're, again, ostensibly, if you're taking part in any kind of sport, your goal is supposed to be to win, right? If you're not there to win, what's the point? I mean, I don't... You know, they've kind of left things like fight purses out of it. I wish they'd bring that concept back. Like you know, in real boxing, they talk about the fight purse. And the way it works is that the winner gets like 70, 80% of the purse, and the loser gets the leftovers. So you want to win. That's how you make your money, by winning. You want to win, you want to get title shots, you want to win titles, because the people who hold the titles are the ones who make the most money. They get the most respect, they get the most recognition. And, I mean, they say they don't care about any of those things, then why are you there? If all you care about is beating people up, you can do that in a bar. You don't need to put on tights and get up in front of a crowd of people. So, there's all sorts of things about that have never made any sense to me, going back to old school pro wrestling when they started doing it to begin with. Because I've watched some old stuff. I got into pro wrestling in the 90s, but I've watched older stuff. And, some of the heel tactics, again, just never really made sense to me. So, yeah, overall the tournament was really good. The Tongans were a pain in the ass, and my feelings about them right now, right now is that if they can't do it, if they can't be heels in a way that meshes with New Japan, the New Japan style, and in a way that allows them to put on a match, an actual match, without having to resort to cheap-ass things like trying to get heat from the stupid cheating and the interference. Because, yeah, right now it's getting them heat, but eventually people are going to get sick of it. That's what happens every time when you do that, and people get burnt on it. They get sick of it. They get tired of feeling cheated out of seeing a match. Because, again, that's what New Japan is built on, is good matches. And if you start having shit matches with a lot of interference and DQs, you make the audience feel cheated. And I've kind of always felt that way about heels. If you can't do it with your personality alone, then you're not going to be any good at it. The cheating will only get you so far. Interference will only get you so far. If your personality isn't strong enough to make people boo you, you're not a goddamn heel. They shouldn't be cheering for you. They shouldn't be laughing at you. The purpose of a heel in pro wrestling is to be booed. You're supposed to want to see him get beat, not see him coming out and go, oh, well, we know how this is going to go. Let's go take a piss. You're not being a good heel if that's the reaction you're going to get. And yeah, you'll get booed for a while, you'll get a reaction for a while, and then people get sick of it, and then you have to try to escalate. And I don't know what the hell is going on with Tama Tonga, how much of that is work and how much is just him being stupid. Because there was the one night of the tournament, he actually got in somebody's face in the audience. I mean, that's kind of an unwritten rule, at least in modern pro wrestling. You can't do that. I mean, you really weren't even allowed to do it back in the day. Unless somebody put their hands on you, you left the audience alone. You could defend yourself, and that was about it. Unless, it was at a bar or something. Famously in, I think it was Florida, Eddie Graham had a standing rule. I think it was Florida, and Eddie Graham, I think. There was one of the old school territories that there was a standing rule that if somebody challenged you at a bar, they would bail your ass out of jail, but you would better beat the crap out of whoever was messing with you and, keep KFAB alive. Otherwise, you're out. You're fired. But it ain't like that anymore. So Tama Tonga, going out in the audience and getting in the face of somebody was a bit much. Apparently he got in a bunch of trouble on Twitter. He got banned, or not banned, but suspended for 24 hours or something on Twitter for saying something stupid. I'm all for heels maintaining their personas even out of the ring, in public and whatnot, but don't be stupid. And I think Tama Tonga is more than capable of working as a heel without having to resort to the crap that they've been doing. I think he is. I mean, I liked him when I first started watching. I liked his the way he moves in the ring, his persona. I missed the face paint. I don't know what happened to the face paint. I thought he had a good gimmick, and I liked his work. And I think he definitely could work as a heel. But if you're gonna do it right, and don't keep doing the same old cheap shit. Do something new. Try to. Or at least try to do things that mesh with the promotion you're in. And like I keep saying, I know I'm repeating myself, but New Japan is all about the ring work. They don't have all the out of the ring drama constantly. You know, they don't have crap going on over girlfriends usually. Girlfriend, all that, the WWE type soap opera drama crap. They don't do that. So if you're going to be a heel, use your personality. Do things that rile up the audience, that allow you to do, be a heel and still put on a match. And again, maybe that's just me. I don't know. All I know is that from now on, pretty much when I see the Tongans come in and out, I'll feel no reason to watch them anymore, which sucks because I did like their work, both of them actually. I think Tongaloa is a bit dry in the ring, dry works as well as anything, I suppose. But he wasn't a bad worker. I thought Tama Tonga was very entertaining. I haven't seen enough of Ishimori or Bone Soldier to make a judgment on him, because he's still working with them. So yeah, to me it feels like it's a real shame that, at least for my part, I feel no desire to watch their matches anymore. And Tai Chi always irritated me, and not in the way that I want to see him get beat, but I don't want to see him at all. I skip his matches. Same for most of Suzuki-gun. Just no real point to watch them. They're all the same. So, I mean, I just wish that they would do something about that stuff, but since some people do respond to it, I guess they're going to keep doing it. And I'll just have to skip those matches, I suppose. So, yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps up everything. But for the most part, the tournament was really good. Everybody else did a good job. I was surprised quite a few times by what went down. There were quite a few interesting matchups. I missed having the Intercontinental title being involved, because that's always been one of the interesting parts of the tournament, is seeing who beats the champs. And for some reason this year, other than Omega, both the Goto and Juice Robinson just got beat a lot. So that was a bit interesting, odd. I don't know why they put the belt on Jericho only to have him disappear. Maybe they just... Some people have been saying, and I am one of them, that they have too many singles belts in the heavyweight division. So maybe that was their thought, just get one of the titles out of Dodge for a while. Which kind of makes sense, but I don't know. It would have been nice to actually see Jericho in the damn tournament. I know that he's getting older, and it would have been hard for him to do it, but if Minoru Suzuki at 50 years old can do it, so can Chris Jericho. And yeah, he's a big superstar guy, and it would have been expensive for him to have him in the tournament probably, but I don't know. Just having one of your singles titles out of the loop for the entire G1 tournament is the heavyweight titles. The junior titles are always out of the loop. That's just a given, because the G1 Climax is all about the heavyweight division. So having one of your heavyweight titles just gone, bit odd to me. But other than that, I think everybody in the tournament was good. They belonged there. A lot of people were talking about Yoshihashi maybe not really belonging in the tournament this year. And as long as it wasn't Tai Chi. I mean, honestly, if they had put Tai Chi in the tournament and the damn Tongans doing their crap, that would have that possibly could have just ruined the whole thing for me. Oh, good grief. That would have been horrifying. But, yeah, the 20 guys, for the most part, other than the Tongans, everybody else did really good. I've said it before about Yoshihashi, and I agree with everybody else. He needs something. He either needs to move away from Chaos and do something on his own for a while, maybe work with somebody in the tag team division on a more regular basis. He needs to do something. He needs to work something with his persona. His ring work is fine. There's nothing wrong at all with Yoshihashi's ring work. He just doesn't connect to the audience. He needs to find that thing about him that connects to the audience. I've said that about Goto as well. His ring work is excellent. There's nothing wrong with Goto's ring work. But I think the reason why they've never put the heavyweight title on him, the world title, is because he still needs to find that thing that connects to the audience. He could be a world champ. I think he could have a good run with a title, but he needs to find that thing. He had that match against Okada where he came out with all the body paint on, and I thought that could work. Kind of go back to like Jinsei Shinzaki. He had that kind of monk sort of thing. The Bushido, no, not Bushido Zen. No, that's not right either. What is it? Damn it. Taoist monk, I think is right. Jinsei Shinzaki. He came out with a straw hat, the prayer beads, and he would always be doing that thing, the praying thing. Goto does it too before he does the kick. I think he definitely has some influence from Shinzaki. I think he does. He doesn't have to go full tilt monk or anything and just rip the guy off. Never rip people off, but the body paint and the kanji, the writing on him, and stuff like that can help you connect to the audience, and it makes you stand out and be in the forefront, I suppose. And I was really disappointed he's never done it since. He did it there that one match and hasn't done it since. He joined Chaos, which hasn't been a bad thing necessarily. And again, I'd like to see Goto mix things up, try something new. Same with Yoshihashi. Ishii, I don't know. I don't know whether Ishii is just fine being more of a mid-card guy or what. I think he could be a champ, have a run with the world title too. I don't know. But pretty much everybody else was very entertaining. The matches were very good. I can't think of anybody other than the Tongans that I felt like they shouldn't have been in the tournament, or that they should have really been doing something different. So, Tongans and Fale, whatever. Yeah, I think that wraps it up. I found Okada's new look and attitude pretty entertaining. The build-up towards Ibushi Omega was really good. Tanahashi Okada was a really great match. So, yeah, pretty much the only thing I would have liked to have really been different is the Tongans and all the interference, because, again, maybe it's just me, but it doesn't make me want to boo him. It doesn't make me want to see him get beat. It makes me want to tune out and stop watching. The only thing I found entertaining about any of that crap was when the refs would get pissed off and usually disqualify him or do something. That was pretty funny. Pretty entertaining, but yeah. The finals, Rey Mysterio being in there was really fun. I didn't even know he was going to be on the card. I'd like to see him in a singles title. Maybe if they could actually bring in Ray for a run in the junior heavyweight division or even the heavyweight division would be awesome. That would be great. I'd love to see Rey Mysterio and Okada have a singles match because that was hilarious seeing the two standing next to each other. Ray's 5'6", Okada's 6'3". And Taguchi in his new look was a bit odd. But, whatever. Taguchi's Taguchi. Cody. Actually, the finals, Cody coming out there and challenging Juice Robinson, that irritated me because he wasn't in the tournament. He has absolutely no claim to make a challenge for the title. There are several people who should have title shots ahead of him, but it's looking like he's going to get a title shot just because he's Cody. That irritated me. Because I think I saw one person say that he hasn't had a match in New Japan since like January or something. It's been a while. In Japan, I mean. He did have the match against Omega in San Francisco, but that's not the same thing. So, yeah, him coming in out of nowhere and then just challenging for a title shot, that irritated me. Because he does not deserve it. There are other people who are there on a regular basis who put in their time and effort in the tournament and just being there regularly in general who deserve title shots a hell of a lot more than Cody does. Yes, I know he's actually pretty damn good at being a heel. He's a big name. But don't cater to people. Don't, that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I am a bit worried that they're, I know they're experimenting with things. They're trying new stuff. They're trying to do stuff that'll appeal more to Western audiences as well as the Japanese audiences. But I'm worried that they're going to go too far. Hopefully they won't. I really, really hope they don't go full tilt WWE because that would just ruin it for me and a lot of other people, I think. I know Gato is very, very good at what he does. He's the head booker. And, in general, I hope they don't try new stuff to the point that they ruin what they're good at. Don't do it at the expense of what you're already good at and what's already bringing people to your product, which is what I feel they were doing with the Tongans. They're trying something new, or maybe they're trying something old again with the Tongans, but they were doing it at the expense of the matches, which is what they're good at. That's the thing that people want from New Japan is good matches. I hope they don't keep doing that. Because I just don't see any good outcome from it in the long run. I think that pretty much covers everything finally. I keep seeing pictures that remind me of other stuff and then it's off on another tangent. I think that covers everything. I don't know who Jericho's going up against next. It looked like he was going to have a feud with Evil for the IC belt. But then all of it kind of got put on hold for the tournament. But then there was a gap between, because Jericho attacked Naito just after his match with Omega, and then there was a few months in between Jericho having the match with Naito. So maybe that's just what they're doing again. It's probably what they're doing. But it does kind of you know, it makes it easy to forget about it. Because that match with Naito it's been a little while since that happened, and Evil and him kind of exchanging words or whatever it was that happened. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since that happened. Goto will have some matches against the people that he lost against. It looks like for some reason, they're just going to give Cody a title shot against Robinson. Even though I believe Cody has a title shot against the NWA title at All In. So I don't know why they did that challenge in the first place when he's already going for another title. Omega, I think, is going to have a match against Ishii. In fact, that's been confirmed, I believe. I don't know if there will be a Omega Tana Toriano match. I think Omega and Toriano are fine for a G1 match because they can finish that in 10-15 minutes easy, usually under 10 minutes. I don't think they can do a main event. I think their matches are entertaining, they're fun, they're funny in small doses. I don't think they can do a whole main event. If they were going to do that, they would have to push Toriano wanting to go more in the direction of fair play. I think he used to be like a hardcore wrestler at one time. Maybe they could bring that back. If they would do that sort of thing, I could see it. But just Toriano, the goofy Toriano with Omega doing a comedy match, again, which is fine once a year or so. I don't think they could pull off a main event doing that stuff. I'm not sure what's going on with the junior heavyweight title because I don't know that they've stripped it off of Hiromu, who is still injured as far as I know. I have no idea what's going on with that. It's looking like the Young Bucks are probably going to have a match against the Tongans. For the heavyweight titles. I believe Yo and Sho are going after the junior heavyweight tag titles again. So I think those are some of the things that are coming up. I don't remember who Goto lost to first, or who. Well, Robinson's probably going to go against Cody. I'm trying to remember who Goto lost to. Was it? Let me see. Let's look it up right quick. The Climax, Wikipedia. They always have the results in here. Yes. Come on. 2018. So, this only gives you. Well, let's see who Goto lost to. So he lost to Ibushi, Ishii, Naito, Omega, Robinson, Sabre. I think Zack Sabre Jr. also wanted to challenge for Robinson's title. Then he might have challenged both of them. Can't remember. Obviously, he won't go up against Omega, champion versus champion. There wouldn't be much of a point to that. I don't know if Naito has any interest whatsoever in the Never Openweight title. So I'm not sure about that. Ishii's going up against Omega. So Goto's next challenger could be Sabre, could be Ibushi. Both matches could be interesting. I'm not much of a fan of Sabre because I just don't really buy into his gimmick too much. It's just, I think he transitions too often to be believable on a lot of his submission holds because he doesn't really hold them that long enough to look like they're really doing anything. And I just don't buy it when he starts taking slams and stuff from people. I don't buy his strikes. He's too damn skinny. He'd be fine as a junior heavyweight, but I just don't buy him in the heavyweight division. But I wouldn't be surprised if that was Goto's next challenger. I think I'd prefer Ibushi. That would be another good match. Ibushi Goto for the never openweight title could be a damn good match. Naito definitely is going up against Ishii. He's got Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom. He might have another match against Ibushi. I have no clue if that'll happen or not. I highly doubt they'll have a match against Yano. For one thing, Yano won after the Tongans interfered, so that would be their out for preventing a Yano Omega main event. Robinson lost to almost everybody. Let's see, he lost to Ibushi, Ishii, Naito, Omega, Sabre, Tama Tonga, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Again, it looks like it's going to be Cody for reasons. And there were no titles in the A block, so I think that's probably what's going to happen next. I'm not sure who will challenge Goto. I'd like it to be Ibushi, though. So yeah, I think that covers everything, and then some, and then some, and then some, and then some. Because I keep thinking of other stuff. But this time I'm actually going to hit the end stream button because I don't want to be talking for another 3 hours for no particular reason. I think I've covered everything and more than enough. And more stuff more than enough. My brain doesn't want to work today. It keeps tripping over itself. So thanks for watching. I'll see everybody later. Bye.